Thank you so much, Raj. Good morning to those joining in the UK, and good afternoon, namaskar, sat sri akal, salam to everyone joining in. जो मैं तो माफ कीजिएगा मेरी हिंदी I made a mistake with the pronunciation there, then do forgive me. Yeah, I think Raj has explained a lot of it already. In terms of the government, British Council, we're all in the business of making connections happen in education across borders, across the UK and India. So this webinar and this series of webinars, so there's 4 of them happening in August. We're originally prepared for the delegation that we'll be taking out in September. So that's the week commencing 18th September. As Raj said, it's going to be the biggest delegation ever of universities. So it'll be mostly pro-vice chancellors from UK universities visiting, and nearly 30 of them, which is a huge number. For that reason, we'll be actually taking the delegation in 2 tracks. So first we'll be visiting Delhi, and then splitting into tracks with one half of the delegation visiting Ahmedabad in Gujarat, followed by Mumbai. The other half will be visiting Chennai. And just to mention as well that the delegation will be led by international education champion Sir Steve Smith, UK government's international education champion, which we know he'll enjoy because he loves visiting India. He visited in June last year as well, June 2022, and this visit is meant to follow up on that and to build upon relationships that were made there. Yep, to mention as well, this series has been prepared to respond to feedback that we got from last year, and also in the expressions of interest that UK universities have given us for this mission. So they said that they wanted to understand a bit more before they actually went out to India. They wanted to know the context of people they'd be meeting, different institutions that specialize in certain thematic subject areas. So we hope that this addresses some of those desires for people to be better prepared. And the idea is then that connections made during these webinars and ideas sparked will then be built upon when you meet some of these universities in September. So the idea is that these are linking to what's going to happen in September in person. But we also decided to widen participation in these webinars out to anyone who's interested in India and interested in these subjects. So it started off, we thought it would be good for the delegation and good for those visiting in September, but actually we realized this would be of huge value to various people interested. So we widened out the participation, and it meant that we had a great turnout for the first webinar on Tuesday this week and today as well. Yep, so finally, just a huge thanks to British Council for organising this. It's great to see the level of enthusiasm we had on Tuesday and today. British Council have been doing a lot of quick work in getting these webinars ready, and it's been a real pleasure working with them so far. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's session. We'll put our contact details in the chat, and do reach out if there's anything you need to have a chat about. I'll hand back to Raj.
Thank you very much, Ali. Really appreciate your setting the context. I think it's great, I personally have a very keen interest in this session because I belong to the social sciences. So I'm really looking forward to a lot of meaningful conversations to kick off. May I invite Professor Shomak Ray Chaudhary, Vice Chancellor of Ashoka University, to sort of open up the conversation and with his remarks in terms of what are the potential areas that we can look at for collaboration. What's the kind of, Ashoka University is a very well-known university in India. So what would be key areas where he would see collaborations being shaped up? Professor Chaudhary.
Thank you very much, Raj. Good morning, good afternoon to everybody. I'm an astrophysicist personally, so I'm feeling a little out of place in social sciences setting. But let me tell you, but I have been part of the UK educational environment for a long time. I was at Oxford, then had my PhD in Cambridge. I taught at the University of Birmingham for many years, more than a decade. And then 10 years ago, I came back to India, and this is my 3rd institution that I have had a leading role in. I joined as a vice chancellor earlier this year. So the idea in Ashoka is that it's one of the first universities that started off liberal arts and sciences. I was actually involved in the setting up from the very beginning, and now I've taken over as vice chancellor. The idea is that all students go through now a 4-year course, which is the new system in India. It used to be 3+1, and then and all of them do 9 foundation courses. Everybody has to pick from the 9 foundation courses, which is very much like the American core in a liberal arts institution. And these core courses would be things like critical thinking, history, mind, great books, and principles of science, quantitative methods, and things like that. So everybody has to do that. And they declare a major in their third semester. And then we have 21 majors on offer, spanning all of social sciences, humanities, and the physical sciences. We don't do professional schools like business school and law and medical school and stuff, but their pure discipline counterparts are there. We have 2,800 students now. We're 10 years old, but already we've gained a reputation that we have 3 Rhodes Scholars, 3 Gates Scholars, 21 Fulbrights roaming around, stuff like that. And we place students at good places. So we get very good. These 2,800 students come from all states and 300 cities of India, plus 21 countries. So we have a substantial international population. And about 10% of our faculty are foreign citizens. And we have 10 PhD programs starting up. So one of the jobs I have is to expand this university into the physical sciences, which already it has a very formidable presence in biology and computer science, and we're bringing in some other subjects, and to establish the research and PhD programs. I'll tell you a little bit. Of the 21 majors and 18 minors, we try to, so for example, astrophysics, which I started last year, it's the only university in India that has an astrophysics minor at the undergraduate level. We bring in interdisciplinary majors, things like PPE, for example, and history and media studies, English and performing arts, philosophy and computer science. We try to mix up science and social sciences in many ways. A third of our students do economics-related work in the undergraduate, so various combinations of economics and finance and something else, but it's now rapidly expanding into the sciences. The research program has been there from the very beginning, but now is the term of very rapid expansion. Professor Vijayaraghavan, who used to be the Prime Minister's science advisor, has joined us as our science head, science policy head, to look at how the sciences will come. And what we really want to do is look at the interaction between the arts and the sciences, the humanities and sciences. So we have several centers now, more than 20 centers, which we established 5 in the last year, which actually deal with the specialized research topics. And I'll give you the names of some of them so that you can get a feel for what we do. So not only are we looking for collaborations in social sciences and humanities, but we have very strong activities in the other verticals that you're thinking about, which is data sciences, health sciences, all of that. Among our social sciences centers, most active ones are Center for Social and Behavioral Change, which already has a very strong British connection, a Center for China Studies, Center for Gender and Sexuality, Center for Climate Change and Sustainability, which combines sociology, anthropology, and environmental sciences, Center for Economic Data and Analysis, CEDA is very, very important, and Center for Digitalization and Society, which brings in ethics and AI all together. And this is something we started just now. Next week, we're about to inaugurate the Koita Center for Digital Health, which will bring together several of our key departments. This is the second center that the Koita Foundation is setting up, in addition to IIT Bombay in India. And then in the sciences, we are looking at things like health analytics, Center for People-Centric Energy Transition, Center for Data Science and Analytics all over the university. But I'll give an example of how the humanities and the sciences are being brought together in certain areas. One key center that we've set up is the Center for Archaeology and interdisciplinary archaeological research, where biologists have set up an ancient DNA lab. We are in Haryana. The state of Haryana has archaeological sites going back 5,000 years to the Harappan civilization, and the biologists are setting up a DNA lab to do a DNA analysis of the archaeological finds, and the physicists have gone into the business of doing various kinds of carbon dating and stuff like that. So these are these are laboratory-based investigations, which are all set in the university. Biology is the Trivedi Center for Biological Sciences is a hugely funded initiative. The building is almost coming to be complete, and it's got a very big focus on health and the relation between all kinds of other things that we can look at. not just data sciences, but the social and anthropological issues as well. So and all of us in the we have 160 faculty right now. This is going to grow 6-7 years plan, and we already have a pretty big international footprint. And the UK, many universities in the UK have already started working with us, and we welcome fresh collaborations and talking to you when you visit. I'll stop there, and I can take questions later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Shomak. I think that was really interesting, at least for me, to understand how the confluence of core sciences and applied sciences and humanities is something that's already inbuilt into the DNA of your university, and you already have some kind of tracks built down which are looking at intersection of cross section of subjects taking place. This brings me to another very eminent speaker and a very young Vice Chancellor, I'm told, in the midst of us, Dr. Ram Sharma from University of Petroleum and Energy Sciences. Ram, I think we would look forward to your opening remark in terms of how we look forward to this as an energy. Everybody is kind of galvanized to the fact that we need to be more sensitive, we need to be more effective and efficient. What are your thoughts in terms of taking forward what your institution is doing and certain tracks that we can build with our colleagues from UK? Very welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Rajendra. So I think I first want to clarify that this name that you mentioned, University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, was our old name that we have gotten changed to just UPES now, with no full form, honestly. And it was because of legacy reason. We started this university as a petroleum and energy university, but eventually we grew up into a full comprehensive university. And therefore, we requested the state government to allow us to change our name, and accordingly the act has been amended and we are just UPES now, with honestly no full form, but I like to call it as University of Philosophers, Entrepreneurs and Scientists. So it started as petroleum and energy kind of a university with engineering school, business school and law school. So law school was predominantly focusing on energy law. Business school was also focusing on business issues around energy, for example, logistics and supply chain, transport, aviation, and whatnot, oil and gas management, and so on. And the engineering school was looking into petroleum engineering, applied petroleum engineering, etc. Eventually it grew, so we added more and more schools. So we had School of Computer Science, School of Design, Health Sciences and Technology, Liberal Studies, Modern Media, and Natural Sciences. So we as of now have 9 schools. So other than, I think, medical school, almost all the disciplines are represented. We offer, I think, more than 120 majors and more than 120 minors as of now at the university. So it's a full kind of university with several options for the students, and they can actually create their own learning journeys and experiences like a liberal arts setup. So interestingly, because of the width of options that we have, ranging from engineering to natural sciences to computer science to AI, data, whatnot, to also psychology to behavior to economics to humanities and so other disciplines of humanities and social sciences, including law, business, etc. So it does provide a wide range of options. When I joined this place about 3.5 years back, this was predominantly a very good teaching institution, and my mandate was to create this into a teaching and research institution. So last few years, we have been kind of really working hard on creating the entire ecosystem for converting this university into a good research university. And I think we are the fastest growing university in India on research. Our research output has increased 600% in last 3 years alone. From what it used to be about 0.7, 0.8 papers per faculty per year is now close to 4 papers per faculty per year. About 30 of our faculty members are amongst world's top 2% researchers. About 10 of them are highly cited researchers. Shomak mentioned Fulbrighters, Rhodes, etc. So of course we have a lot of faculty members who are recipients of such fellowships, including myself. I was a Fulbright scholar at Berkeley as well as a Chevening scholar at Oxford. So, so because of all those interventions, I think we've also made significant inroads into our rankings and accreditations front. So we are now amongst top 52 institutions in India as per the national rankings. We were also first time participated in the QS World Rankings, and I think we are the 4th best private university in India now, ahead of almost all the institutions of eminence in private sector at least. And we are kind of rethinking about the model of higher education itself, particularly how the financing of higher education should happen. And therefore, there is a strong emphasis on starting up. So every year we are now incubating close to 125, 150 startups. And by way of incubation, we are taking 2% equity in every startup because we are providing them end-to-end support with a vision that in next 5 years, we would have about 1,000 startups where the university would have 2% equity each. And this would help the university create a significant endowment. Some of them would succeed by way of probability as well as the kind of ideas that we are getting in. Some of them are already valued between 1 to 10 million US dollars. And one of the startups led by our alumni is becoming a unicorn this year. So, I mean, with all those interesting initiatives, trying to do a lot of interesting stuff on the ground, trying to become a university that operates more like a startup. So, so that's in short, I would say, predominantly the summary is we are a full comprehensive university, focusing a lot on research. We've also launched a full-time PhD program 3 years back, and right now we have more than 400 full-time PhD students. The aim is that in next 2-3 years we should have more than 1,000 full-time PhD students. So creating that entire ecosystem of kind of becoming a research-based university at a very fast pace, kind of scaling up the research output as well as the quality. I mean, as I mentioned, research output grew up by almost 6 times. And at the same time, the quality also grew up by 3-4 times. So for example, in 2020, we used to publish about 15 to 17% of our papers used to be in quartile 1 journals, whereas this year almost 50% of our papers are in Q1 journals. So it's not just we have ramped up the quantity, but we've also been able to ramp up the quality along with the quantity. Another thing is that if I look at the papers that have been published in 2022 and 2023, which is recent past, the per paper citations of those papers that have been published on Web of Sciences are in the range of Oxford or Cambridge or National University of Singapore and any other top university in the world. One of the best, I think, in India, of course, ahead of IISc Bangalore, all the older IITs, etc. So that's the kind of interesting journey that we are on. And we do look forward to interesting opportunities across these disciplines. Particularly for humanities, social sciences, media and design, etc. The focus is on the amalgamation of these disciplines with digital. That's, I think, in a nutshell. So our media school, for example, does only digital media. The liberal studies school also is looking at the kind of confluences of digital versus social sciences, humanities, and so on.
Thanks a lot, Professor Ram. I think that gives us a good segue to invite our colleagues from Nalanda University, again, a very forthcoming university, especially from the geopolitical space. They have been doing a lot of interesting collaborations. So may I now invite Dr. Srisha Udupa, Deputy Dean International Relations, Nalanda University, to sort of just share with us what would be the contours of international collaboration that we can expect, and also kind of talk about some things that already exist from Nalanda University's perspective. Dr. Srisha.
Thank you, and good day to everyone. As mentioned, so I look at the international relations here, and today, due to meeting that was scheduled in the last minute, Vice Chancellor was not able to be present here in this session. Convey the greetings on his behalf, and So I'll be briefly telling about the university and academic collaborations that we are already doing and potential areas in which we are. Nalanda was historical that existed. Subsequently, in the beginning of 21st century, the East Asia Summit, the member countries signed the proposal for the re-establishment of Nalanda University. Currently, we have 18 member countries who have signed intergovernmental MOUs, and the university started the first batch in 2014. So the vision has been to rebuild Nalanda as a seat of global learning with focus on research intensive programs, master's programs, doctoral programs, and various short-term programs. And the university currently has these schools, historical studies, ecology and environment studies, Buddhist studies, philosophy, and comparative relations. The last two schools, languages and literature and management studies, started a couple of years ago, and all the schools offer master's and PhD programs, and all of them are research intensive, and main emphasis the university gives is on interdisciplinary research, interdisciplinary works. So in addition, we also have research centers, one center focusing on the Bay of Bengal region, then there is a Center for Conflict Resolution and Peace Studies, then Common Archival Resource Center. That we are looking at for academic collaborations have been these. Some of them are South and Southeast Asian history, international relations. In fact, here I should mention that large number of students and researchers that we draw are from South and Southeast Asia. Overall, around 30 to 35 countries, students currently are on campus here pursuing various programs. Further, in relation to ecology and environment, the focus areas have been climate change and disaster management, energy studies, human ecology. And then under management studies, we are looking for collaborations in the fields of sustainable development and management and blue economy. In the School of Humanities, Languages and Literature, the areas are world literature, digital humanities, applied linguistics and translation studies, and Buddhist studies, which is one of the schools that is significant in relation to the historical connection the present university has with the past. The focus areas have been Buddhist studies, specifically the Nalanda tradition, and then Asian and Indian philosophical traditions. The campus has been multicultural and it has vibrant, rigorous academic and intellectual environment. So it is an institution that is emerging, which has potential to explore further in relation to Asian knowledge systems, and we are also looking to collaborate where we can connect these knowledge systems with the emerging trends in the current research. Here I perhaps also can mention, in addition to the teaching, the campus itself functions as a larger laboratory for ecological and environmental studies. So it is a net zero campus that operates on various fundamental principles that we are committed towards realization as part of the sustainable development goals. As I mentioned, the institution is an international institution by its fundamental nature with various partnering countries, and actively it engages with those partnering countries, the institutions, and the representatives. Recently, we had a meeting with the ambassadors from the member countries where possibilities of academic collaborations was discussed. And here I also perhaps can mention about one of the initiatives which the university is leading. So it is a nodal institution of ASEAN India network of universities. So under this project, we have 3 activities: faculty exchange program, doctoral student exchange program, joint PhD supervision, and joint research. So essentially, this is an initiative that tries to create a knowledge ecosystem through linkages, specifically connecting South Asia and Southeast Asia. In this context, perhaps I can mention that the collaborations that we would be looking at with the institutions from UK would result in larger knowledge network, as number one, the campus itself houses the students and researchers from across the nations, plus the campus is part of the university structure that functions on the basis of intergovernmental MOU signed by 18 member countries. So in that way, Nalanda University is reaffirming millennium-old civilizational and cultural linkages. And when we are looking at it, is about our commitment towards further deepening the academic partnership.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shisa. I think that was fabulous. You can take off your presentation. I've also fascinated by the fact that there is also a very established program for faculty exchange, international mobility, which Nalanda University is already sort of taking forward. I also now want to go to Professor Madhushree Shekhar from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. I mean, the institute basically is a very well-known institute, and I'm very proud to sort of say that we facilitated a great number of partnerships with Tata Institute of Social Sciences. They are also been at the forefront of policy making and policy reforms, especially the new policy that we see NEP unfolding. So it's great to have you, Madhu, with us today. Do tell us, what appetite further you have for international collaboration with my colleagues from UK, and take us through that. Madhushree, over to you.
Thank you so much, Rajendran, and it's a pleasure coming back and speaking to everybody here, and it's an honor. Thank you for British Council for putting us here and having us exchange on this platform here. Yes, we have been fortunate, and we have been very well working with British Council, and we have facilitated a lot of partnerships with universities in UK. We have a very strong footprint in the global internationalization program, and I myself I function as also the chair or the dean for the internationalization that we do from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. Just as a brief for everybody to know, I know we said that we are a social science research institute. So we work in the space of social sciences. Our subjects are we are multi-campus public research institute. We have 4 campuses, 19 schools, where subjects spread from starting from teachers' education to climate change to health, public health. All of these campuses, all of these concerns are covered in our program that we do. We have we have a very strong footprint in the as part of the internationalization we do, and we have very strongly contributed to what we say the new education policy, and contributing towards working towards more holistic, multidisciplinary, and high quality education programs which produce actually young professionals who can work best in the globe. So our students, we aim at creating students who come out work ready, so that's where, and our subjects are largely driven from looking at the social sciences, but not social sciences by se, but the interface that it happens across across the sciences. We tell that we work in the space of beyond sciences. We say we work with industry, we work with science subject, on the science thematic areas, and we work as beyond sciences. So we say we work in the space of social sciences and beyond sciences, because that's where we put our interface here. We are some of the new research areas that we are now in our focusing on our subject areas in our programs, master's program. All of these are in the spaces of data, yes, we understand data analytics has become the new area, but we talk about data informed public policy and governance. That's the space that our work happens. We work in the area of not sustainable development, not sustainability, but sustainable transitions. How do you contribute to sustainable transitions? Is that transitions is where our focus is now. We work in around the spaces of future of work, where we have a very strong component, where we look at work, but we also look at the skilling part of it, and the new India, where you're talking about skilling and creating job ready people. So the future of employment and work is what also is an area that we are now looking at. As a university, we are, as I said, we are a social science university, but working in the cusp of social science and industry. We have almost 5 now under the new education policy. We have started we have also focused on bachelor's program, which are linked to research. So they do the bachelor's with masters and the research. The one pathway that goes on. We have master's program, almost 57 master's program, 18 doctoral programs are our programs, besides a number of short-term specific programs. Our programs are all community linked, and we work on a strong philosophy of field action projects, which inform our programs and then our research, and then it builds into the research program. Our works are, yes, talking about the international footprints that we have, or our internationalization that happens from our side. We have a huge international, yes, Fulbright is, as it has been mentioned here, as a university, we have also been very active in the with reference to Fulbright programs. We have a number of our people who have got Fulbright, and also we have a huge Fulbright footprint coming back to us on our campuses for our courses that we do. We were among the university which started the first double degree program as part of the new education policy. We started the program with Australia, and also with UK. We have started the program on international business, and that's where we have worked. In the space of entrepreneurship, we are actually we have the TIS Incubation Center, which is actually has mentored about 50 ventures in 2012. In 2012, 50 ventures of India, which were being launched, were incubated in our incubation center, the IC. We have the incubation center. We are a network. We have networked with many many networks, and one of the network which I want to specifically mention here is the ASCRIN network, which is a network between IIT Kanpur, BITS Pilani University in Australia and India, where we are working in the space of strengthening research, student research in the area of critical research and innovation network for urban systems. This is how the research program moves in the institute. Being a institute that started post in 1936, from 1936, being a very old university, but which has always kept its links to the community. So our research and our information that we do, the work that we do, we are largely actively engaged in research, policy support, program development, evaluation, training, and advice on development interventions that have to happen. These are our programs. We have some of the programs which have become now national feedback, national. In the mental health, or in the space of mental health and public health, our field action has become the national field, and the number has become the national number for any type of the mental for counseling purpose. It's becoming for purpose of counseling. We have the number which is called iCall, which is now accepted as the national number for anybody in distress for international forum. So these have become our spaces where we are working. We work with the people in spaces where of of transgenders. We have programs in transgenders, we are working at the third gender. We have fellowships specifically dealing with such programs. So gender is a work where we are working around. We are working around public health concerns around violence, the silent violence, which is actually that happens within the domestic spaces. So these are our concerns, and all of them are informed from our field action projects through working with industry. We work with industries. Industries are academia, industry is our link that we are promoting. We work between industry. So as a university, I would like to say we would love to connect. We have strong connections with universities in UK. We have some of our very strong programs from universities with UK, and we look forward to building around this and working around these thematic areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Madhushi. I think that was really a wide expanse of diverse kind of work that Tata Institute is delivering. We really appreciate the partnerships that already exist with Tata Institute, and we would like to sort of enhance them in the backdrop of the current policy reforms that are taking place, and also I think most of you are aware that Government of India and Government of UK have signed the mutual recognition of qualification, which allows sort of a arrangement of degree equivalences between both countries. So do take advantage of that, and I think we will hear more when we open the floor for questions. I want to kind of now take the conversation forward with Professor Qasim, and there's been a quick research that's taken place, which says that journalism and communication are emerging as two very, very sort of upcoming areas for the uptake from young students, especially for masters and also for research purposes. So I want to sort of bring in Dr. Qasim to talk about what are the possibilities, what the lay of land looks like, what are the areas where he would be looking at sort of collaborations shaping up in near future. Dr. Qasim, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tripathi, and a very good afternoon. A very good afternoon to all of you. Let me just put my few slides.
While Dr. Qasim is sort of putting up his few slides, I want to also take this opportunity to share that please do update your questions or queries in terms of what would you like to sort of take with the Indian institutions that are currently with us today in terms of collaboration opportunities. And this is a good point to sort of start conversations if there are any areas where you would want to build it up when you come here in September.
I think I'm not able to do. I share a window and.
Dr. Qasim, what probably would be a good idea? Oh, there we go. Okay.
So, am I visible?
Yes, we can see a bit of, we can see the presentation now. Go for it.
Okay. Thank you. So we are a media school of Jamia Millia Islamia, which is a public university in India. It is a 100-year-old university, and we are a part of this institution. AJK-MCRC was set up in 1982, and it was a tripartite agreement between York University, Jamia Millia Islamia, and University Grants Commission, which is the regulatory body for higher education in the country. And Canadian International Development Agency, CIDA, they provided us support for setting up the infrastructure. So we started with a one MA program, MA Mass Communication with 20 seats. And today we have 9 programs, including a doctoral program and 8 other master's programs. We do not conduct any undergraduate programs. All these 8 programs are in different domains of media. And there are about 300 students as of now. We cover almost all segment of media industry. right from journalism, development, communication, photography, radio, animation, acting. Even we have a course on broadcast technology, though we are a social science institution, mass communication institution. The distinction of the institution, how we are different from rest of the mass media institution in the country is we lay a strong emphasis on practice. The curriculum of various courses has almost half time is devoted to practice, and the students create products. For this, we have a professional grade infrastructure. We have 2 TV studios, high definition studios, and a lot of other support equipment for various segments. So just to say something about the university, Jamia Millia is ranked 3rd in the country by Ministry of Education in the NIRF rankings 23. It is accredited with A++, which is the highest grade awarded by NAC assessment. And in THE, we are in 501 to 600 bracket. QS, this year we are 801 to 1000 ranking bracket. Last year we were 751 to 800 bracket. Just to share something about the media school, which is AJK MCRC. Actually, probably I did not get complete information from your side. I'm not able to present the entire strengths of the university as such. My talk or my presentation is more centric to AJK MCRC. So talking about the academic programs, starting with doctoral program, this is a unique program. We started with support from University of Westminster, UK. We call it a practice-based PhD, where the students, in addition to theoretical PhD thesis, they also create a media product, which also supplements their theoretical research. Then we have 4 master's programs, which are conducted at AJK MCRC in mass communication, convergent journalism, development communication, visual effects, and animation. The 5th program, MSc in mathematics education, this is a joint degree program with University of Delhi. And this is one of its kind in the country. No other, I don't think any other university is running this kind of a program. We teach the students the media part, how they can make use of media techniques in teaching mathematics to school students. So the AV, exploiting AV and other media tools for teaching process, particularly mathematics, that component is taught in our institution. And we award joint degree, DU and Jamia combined to these students. We also have PG programs. These are 1-year programs in identified areas. In addition to the academic activities, we also have a lot of production activities related to e-content development or educational content development. In fact, we have been doing this right since 1982. We are part of SWAYAM, which is the indigenous MOOCs platform developed by Government of India. And a lot of courses are on this platform. So we create MOOCs not only for in-house faculty, but the UGC, they assign faculty members from outside institutions, and they come to our center to create their MOOCs. We also support running of MOOCs on SWAYAM platforms. These are again allocated to us by the UGC. In addition to that, we also have a radio channel, the Radio Jamia. This is driven by the students, most of the content. And we also run a TV channel on Ministry of Education's DTH platform. This channel is operated and maintained by us. We create all the content. Right now, we are broadcasting courses, 4 courses, 4 UG courses on this channel, for which the content is being created right at AJK MCRC. briefly telling you about the MOUs, we already have a lot of interaction with the universities in the UK. Like Westminster, I told they were assisting us in introduction of practice-based PhD, University of Loughborough, Goldsmiths, University of London, and we also have an active collaboration with Sciences Po Paris, where student exchange program is there. At this stage, we are conducting a project with Kiel University, UK. This is supported by British Academy. Under this project, we are studying the uh, air pollution and consequences in Delhi and NCR. Under this project, we have to also develop or create 3 films. So this project is still going on. In addition to this, we are partnered with ICRIA. We are doing some program on our radio with support from ICRIA. And these Germany also supporting us in our academic programs. In fact, they conduct one CBCS course in a program every year at the institution. There is within the country, we are also collaborating with the Indian School of Business, which is a triple crown business school in India. And we are working on forest economy. They have a huge project undergoing all over the country. And we are part of communication partner in this project. We also have a plan to develop new facilities, new courses, programs in XR, use of immersive media in communication. For that, we have also entered in a collaboration or partnership with Ministry of IT, and we are looking into this area actively. Some of our, as I told you, that AJK is a production-centric institution. We lay emphasis on production. So most of our alumni, they have distinguished in addition to academics in the profession. Recently, 2 of our alumni, their products were nominated for Oscars. Last year, also 1 film by our alumni. It was a very strong contender for Oscar, top contender rather. And we have also won 2 Pulitzers in photojournalism. These are some of the top achievements of our institute. So just coming to what kind of probable collaborations we are looking at, since we are a public institution, so our mandate is to provide the best quality education and training to the students at affordable costs. So the fees, if I share with you, is $1,000 per year for the master's program. So we would like to start with some kind of engagements initially where a lot of finances are not involved. And later on, we can develop this association to joint degrees or dual degree programs. In fact, the university has already uh, uh, been in touch with University of Cambridge to start a joint degree program in Faculty of Education. So those kind of possibilities are there. So we can have joint PhD products, etc. And yeah, that's all. And about the university, just briefly, since I was also director IQAC, we have about 10 faculties. Many of these faculties are well known, about 43 departments. So I have not prepared any input on that, but probably when the delegation is visiting, prior to that, we can submit the requisite information. And we would be happy to engage with media institution, our school, as well as outside this within the university, any department. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Qasim. That was really, really interesting to know the diversity as well as the range of collaborations that we can expect from your department and university. Without further ado, I think I want to go straight to Meghna. She comes from a very coveted and premium school of arts and creativity from Mumbai. Meghna, please walk us through what do you have as areas of collaboration and what would be sort of points or emphasis which you would like to draw from collaborations with UK universities?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been really nice hearing everyone, and I'm going to try and be short because I know we're running a bit late. But my personal interest is that I'm an alumnus of the UK. I studied at King's College London for business management, and so I'm always looking at opportunities to work with the UK. It is second home for me, so that's what it is. Whistling Woods International is regarded as India's leading institution for film, media, and creative arts. And our pride really lies in offering state-of-the-art infrastructure and world-class facilities to really create a conducive learning environment for our students. We have really well-equipped sound studios, post-production labs, film shooting floors, because essentially 17 years ago, we started as a film school. We were founded by our chairman, Mr. Subhash Ghai, who's a filmmaker himself. So it really was a passion project where he wanted to give back to the industry through training. Despite having the largest film industry in the world, we really do not have as many film schools as we should. And that's how we started. Whistling Woods is based inside a film city. And I am really looking forward to each one of you coming here and seeing our campus, because it really is, it's a beautiful campus nestled in this beautiful rainforest, which is Film City. We started as a film school, yes, but over time we realized that the need for education and for employable talent in this entertainment and media industry is huge, and we had the capacity and potential to do that. So what we did was, from starting as a film school and animation school, we actually expanded into having 7 schools now. We are offering courses in visual communication design and fashion design, music production and composition. We have a School of Media and Communication, which, like the other liberal arts schools, does touch upon a lot in terms of journalism, PR, but also it's a management school. So we do have modules in sports and esports management, events management, and so it does tap into the entrepreneurial skills of young creative students. I think all of them need that, the way the media industry is changing. So our goal is really to equip our students with practical knowledge and skills that align with the demands of the evolving industry. And that is why Whistling Woods is unique, because it was started by the industry, and all our faculty are industry professionals. Our advisory board consists of people from the industry. So, and we're very fortunate now that we have about 3,500 to 4,000 alumni working very successfully in the industry. So it really has become a beautiful, ecosystem where all of the students who are creatively inclined and have been to Whistling Woods are able to find really what they love and jobs in the industry as soon as they graduate. Our alumni, just to quickly take you through their strength, we do have a very strong alumni network all over the world, not just in India, and our alumni are diverse. So we have had students who for their animation work won an Academy Award, or a short film being chosen for or selected and won at Cannes Film Festival, and at the same time, right now there's a huge blockbuster film in the cinemas, which a dozen of our alumni are involved in. Including the writer, cinematographer, and editor. So it makes me really, it makes us all very proud to see that, because that is exactly why we started Whistling Woods, to make sure that students find and are able to really take their dreams further. In terms of collaborations, Whistling Woods from the start has been very keen on bringing international standards and quality to India, and especially this industry. Two of our first deans were international. Many of our faculty has been international. We've had a lot of faculty exchanges where many foreign faculty have come and spent time here in India, and vice versa. So we have sent our faculty abroad as well. To name a few universities that we have worked with on a consistent basis: Chapman, Syracuse, Bradford, Leeds, Deakin, Griffith, DePaul. These are universities that have come to Whistling Woods with their students and faculty, and we've curated programs for them while they're here. Along with that, of course, like I said, we've had a lot of international exchange programs, and recently we've had some active partnerships with institutes in the UK as well, including the London College of Communication, which is the University of Arts London, and Queen Mary. These are some of the universities that we're right now talking to. Also, we have partnerships with Greenwich, Met Film School, Arts University Bournemouth, University of Exeter, Norwich University of Arts. Like I said, we are not just a film school anymore, we are a creative arts university. We also recently signed an agreement with Pace University. So like I said, we have a media and communication school, which is extremely strong, and Pace and us have a lot of common things. I recently visited and signed an exchange program with Toronto Metropolitan University, which was earlier known as Ryerson. And recently our design students visited Paris, there's a beautiful institute called ECV in Paris, and they did spent 2 weeks there, and their students are expected to come to Whistling Woods in 2024. I also want to add that we have Lucy Brown, Head of Division for Film, London South Bank University, on board as our honorary professor, and she's a leading voice in film and television production in the UK and the movement towards greater diversity and inclusivity. And our students will definitely gain a lot from her experience. So as we continue focus on providing global learning experiences for our students, we actively seek opportunities for international activities, faculty exchanges, research, conferences, summer schools, and global learning programs, really taking our students global, making them understand the global industry. Our aim is to foster cultural connections and help our students build that network globally while gaining new perspectives and understanding of social and cultural norms worldwide. We believe that it is through sustained dialogues, and fortunately, we have the British Council facilitating such dialogues, that we will be able to make this difference. And so I'm really, really looking forward to seeing all of you here at Whistling Woods next month. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Meghna. That was fantastic. I think Agnes has already said a hello to you, saying that a faculty exchange program will be good in the offing. This brings us to open the house for questions, and I already see some of the interesting ones being shared. So let me begin by asking Professor Shomak, where Agnes is asking that how would you see some of the centers that you talked about working with ours in Bristol? Your digitization and society center with our Bristol Digital Futures Institute would be a good one. Professor Shomak, you want to expand on, or Agnes, you want to kind of expand on what you wanted to ask or discuss, just so that we start the conversation?
Sure. I was just thinking, we've each got big research centres. What's the best way to join research centres? Do we get individual academics within the research centres, or the leaders of the research centres, faculty exchange programmes? I just wondered from your experience what you thought would be the best way specifically to link centres that obviously have lots of people in them.
The variety of activities that the centers do. Some centers are only research centric, and they do just research, and so and they have their own research staff. But there are some centers that do a lot of teaching as well, and so they have undergraduates who are working in that space, and not just attending the courses, but they also do do research with the faculty. Now, so there are many ways these things can happen. For example, we have in our undergraduate program quite an activity in sending students abroad, undergraduate students abroad, for semesters and even a whole year. And currently, for example, out of our 2,800 students, more than 100 students are spending a semester abroad in various universities. So if one can figure out programs, teaching programs, that is, where we can, and then we have incoming students coming to attend our programs as well from universities as well. So we can look at student exchanges at the undergraduate level. Certainly, we can look at faculty and exchanges in terms of just faculty members, postdoctoral fellows, as well as PhD students. And these can take, because these are very interdisciplinary, very interesting ways one can look at. For example, let's take the Center for Digitalization and Society, where people are looking at the ethics of AI or the ethics of digital data. For example, in India, there's a huge drive to collect personal information in large databases connected with various identification numbers, cards, etc. And there's a lot of work being done on that kind of stuff. Now, there are people in there who are involved in computer science, in the issue of privacy, in the issue of encryption, and then there are people who are working in the ethics space, in the philosophy space. There are people from the philosophy department here working in this. So there are two kinds of collaborations I can see where they're subject experts from different subjects in the two countries can come together. So for example, our ethics expert from the philosophy department can work with your computer science department. Or we can take existing collaborations here and see how it interfaces with your existing collaborations and put these groups together. And that would involve group exchanges. Now, all this is possible. Funding resources are possible for specific projects, and we can work this out. So in a small way, it's already happening, and we can look for various interesting ways of combining these people.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Professor Shumak. I want to go to, in the interest of time, Agnes also has questions for Professor Qasim and Dr. Ram. So Dr. Ram, first to you. I think there's a point that she raises in terms of the legal implications of UK and Indian universities working together on startups. Is this really possible? What would be the best way to collaborate in this space? Some quick thoughts, Dr. Ram, from you on that.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the legalities would have to be explored, but I think in principle, this should be fine because once a startup company is, once a startup idea is converted into a company, then the company laws become applicable. And there, I think people can have co-founders with shareholdings and so on. So I think those things are possible and should be possible depending on who takes how much equity, etc. And the third option, which could be very interesting, is that if it is a product company or a service company, whichever way, incorporation can happen in a third geography also. I mean, it depends. So I believe there are modalities which could be explored, but in principle, it's doable.
Can I just add one thing to it? It's very important.
Yes.
I just use the power of WhatsApp to send messages to a large number of my colleagues to ask whether they know of any examples. And nobody's come up with an example yet. So what I know is that what I said there is that there are various IPR lawyers who work in this space of looking at international collaborations, and we've worked with some. But have they led to startups yet? I do not know. I know that in April there was an agreement between the UK and India where I think Minister Harrison came and yes, our minister signed an agreement for innovation in science. And but agreements are signed, but whether they lead to actually working spaces, we do not know. So I agree with Ram that I think in principle looks good and it can be done, but somebody who is the expert in the financial space has to come and throw their weight here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well said, very well said. My supplementary to Dr. Qasim from Agnes would be on the creative side of things. So she says that we're working with BBC to attract Indian talent in broadcast and cultural industry technologies. She'd be interested to discuss how we can work with your students who might want to have work experience in UK with BBC. So Dr. Qasim, do we see an appetite developing on this side?
Yes, I think definitely, because nowadays this is an essential requirement that students has to learn or go for internships or practical experience, not only within the country, but outside the country. So this will be one of the possible areas where probably we can discuss and carry it forward. And BBC is having a very long relationship with India, not as a public broadcaster, but a lot of other activities in media sector. So we would be happy to explore this, and it is quite possible to do that. How students can move to BBC or even other companies or organizations in UK for their internship or practical training.
Brilliant. I already see tracks developing. That's you made my day in that sense. I think the other question is from Finola, with from Anand University. She says that this is for Madhushri, that they also have very similar courses on ethos about preparing students to be work ready and closely working with the industry. What about the launch of we're about to launch a MA in serious and violent crimes, and she expands on that. So a quick response. I already see that you've kind of responded to her on chat, but if Finola is there and Madhu, you want to kind of quickly respond in the interest of time.
We can just quickly respond that yes, we would love to connect and see, because we already have a master's program double with Queen Mary University, which we did. So we have a model before us and we can explore the possibilities. Thank you.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very quickly, darting to Meghna, I think, there was a question that can we have faculty exchange programs, and you already touched upon that. So anything in the near to medium term that you see taking shape, and we can sort of build it up while the delegation comes in September?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, what I would like to do is really connect with the faculty concerned and find out where their expertise is. Like I said, we cover everything in creative arts and media. So there are many opportunities, and I absolutely would love to explore it. I don't know if it can happen this semester, because the semester has already begun for us, but we can definitely explore it in the next semester for sure.
There was another question that was from exploring policy-related, research-related aspects with Nalanda University. So I think we can take it up. But please feel free to take the floor and sort of ask the question right away without me also. Anybody from the UK side, or I think I want to give the opportunity for the Indian speakers as well to sort of have any particular questions from our colleagues at the UK's end. Please do take this opportunity to share them as well. I see a question from Jasjeet. She's asking about, we have a growing UG liberal arts program at Leeds. Could I ask the panel about the potential for strategic partnership around this PG and UG 2+2 or research, and any advice on which subject areas in liberal arts would have the most potential? I think that's a very long and broad-based question, but I do feel that in principle there would be few areas which we can kick off quite soon. Madhu?
Yes, we can. We can kick off very quickly liberal arts, because we are already exploring possibilities around in the space of liberal arts with universities. We have already started work with Sciences Po in Paris and other. So there are spaces in liberal arts which is a very broad domain, and if we understand what fits into that, we can work towards semester mobilities. We can work towards picking up our semester mobilities. We have put one, it becomes a double program. You do 2 semesters here and then you go to the other side, and likewise we are working around that. So we can work around that. My short and quick answer is that we have huge opportunities, and I think the new education policy of India gives us that ambit, that opens up that space for us where we can build collaboration. And I would like to just reiterate what Professor Kasim had said, that we are public universities. We work in a space where our spaces are targeting students and people who are mostly sometimes first generation learners, the first generation learners. And as a public university, our effort is to create that space where these first generation learners become go forward and get empowered, and that's the philosophy we work with. Right. And I would say if they come in that, we have all the opportunities to work around that.
Thanks, Madhu. One pointer I think is from Shilpi, which she says that Ashoka would be open to sort of explore T&E collaborations on astrophysics and data sciences. Completely running out of time. I think I just want to say that it's been a great conversation starter for all of us, and really want to thank our panelists today from India side and also our colleagues who joined from UK. I do believe that this has been a meaningful conversation for all of us, and also a starter to build on when the delegation actually, sort of sets steps in India in September. So really looking forward to sort of interacting with all of you, and I do hope that these conversations will lead to future collaborations as we go forward. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Really appreciate your time and valuable inputs into the session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.